Hey guys, today we're going to be talking about trans beauty standards and how often they are not the same as society's beauty standards, and how toxic beauty standards can be in the community. If you're new here, hi, I'm Amelia Majesty. I love to post transgender content and commentary. If that's your sort of thing, make sure you're subscribed and click that bell icon. And let's get into the topic. At first, you may be thinking, you don't follow any beauty standard. What's up with that makeup? Well, it was the perfect day to talk about this topic because I did my makeup like that. It was destiny to talk about beauty standards because I'm literally not following society or trans beauty standards today. I'm expressing myself and I love it. But we're going to talk about trans beauty standards. First of all, I want to say there's something called the doll aesthetic, which is often idolized in the community as an overdone look. Not always is it overdone. There are ranges, but very dramatically curved body achieved through a BBL or most of the time illegal silicone injections and having very dramatic procedures. That is often revered in the community. It's viewed as, oh my God, iconic, like we love you. But like that is still a trans look. So there is a spectrum to passing, and passing's a whole nother conversation, but basically looking clocky, there's two ends of the spectrum. You can be so feminine that you're clocky, and you can be just, passability doesn't make you better. But basically, what I'm trying to say is a lot of these beauty standards we put on each other or the things that are in the community, those are things that are actually going to make you more clocky, especially the doll aesthetic. And for me, I like expressing myself. That's why I'm, dressed this way and my makeup. But people think when they critique me, they're like, a real woman doesn't do this. A real woman doesn't talk like that. And it's like, women can do whatever they want, right? The same for trans women. Just do whatever you want. The aesthetic that the trans community is going to push on you sometimes is actually going to out you more as trans. But yes, more hyper feminine trans women are typically respected more in society than one who isn't conforming to the gender roles, if that makes sense. So society's beauty standard is different from culture to culture. Wherever you live in the country or what country you live in, there's going to be different expectations for men, women, and how you need to dress. Typically in the United States, there's kind of like a natural like glam, but not too much makeup. That's an aesthetic depending on where you live. And also a very natural look, like a clean girl beauty look. Not too much makeup, obviously not bright colors, just like demure, like pinks and very natural tones. And that is technically the beauty standard. So if your goal is to blend in and pass, what you should actually be doing is following the cookie cutter beauty standard of everyone else. Because the trans beauty standard, if you follow the idolized ones, it's going to steer you down the wrong path. Hyperfemininity does not equal passing. Now, my opinion is you should dress and look however you want. Obviously, you should be aware of your time and place if it's safe to express yourself, and I fully understand that. But for me, my goal is to express myself, be happy. Like, I transitioned to express myself, and because obviously I had the dysphoria and the way that my body felt, things like that. But also, like, before I transitioned, a lot of the time I was held back in doing the things that I wanted, right? Being trans isn't all just about the presentation, but like you took that step to be yourself, right? You came out, you went through all those challenges. So why are you going to let people limit you as to how you express yourself, right? Do whatever it is you enjoy. And you only have one life. And the trans beauty standards can be very toxic, you guys. They have an in-group and an out-group and, oh, I'm better and I assimilate better and this and that. And it's like, it's all self-destructive because at the end of the day, what happens is that even the girls who get all the surgeries, some of them still don't pass. And passing is such a complicated topic I will have to talk about in another thing. So when I say passing, take it with a grain of salt, okay? But there are some trans women who get all the work done and they are still clocked as trans, right? And that toxic beauty standard taught them you need to shave everything down and after, everyone's going to love you. And it's like, did you get rid of things that you genuinely loved about yourself? Like, did you have like a nice jawline and now you got rid of it, right? Or various things. And my recommendation to trans people is to learn your features before jumping on a surgery table, not start your transition and then in a year get all the surgeries. Because I originally thought that, oh, I'm trans, so I want to get all my transition done fast. And I made a list of everything I wanted, and that list ended up changing and morphing over time. And I ended up removing a lot of stuff that I don't want on the list because I learned that there's a lot of stuff that I love about myself that if I didn't, practice different hairstyles, makeup, stuff like that, then I would unfortunately be in the club of regret, right? And this, like, there's so many different things, procedures, and not everyone's transition is going to be the same. So do not feel pressured by society's beauty standard or trans beauty standard. Obviously, take the time and the place when you have to be safe, and you need to be aware of your surroundings. You can't go full drag look, but trans and drag are two different things, right? This makeup that I'm wearing is not giving drag, right? It's giving avant-garde. If someone thinks it's drag, that's perfectly fine. It's like, don't let others tell you to live your life. Don't let others limit your happiness, because I spent a lot of my time before transitioning being told that. Every chance I got to express myself, it was shut down, right? Every time I vocalized myself, how I felt about myself inside, it was shut down. So don't let people do that to you. And the thing is, these toxic beauty standards make a promise to you. They promise you that if you follow these beauty standards, people will love you more or respect you more, and that is not always the case. Even the most passing trans women in our community have been hate crimed, have been assaulted, all of the above. And when they're talking about taking away trans rights or not liking trans people, they include all of us, even the ones who have so-called assimilated. It's like we're all in the community together. And this is another topic that I said. I said all trans women are the same, such that we're all trans women. We're in the same category. And I actually had another trans influencer who got very mad at me saying that. And she's like, we're not all the same. No, no, no. And she's someone who literally makes videos trying to help other trans women, inferring basically that because she passes and because, she's more elite, that people who are beneath her or less in their transition are, not the same. It's like we all are the same. We all have to stay together. I'm not saying that we all have the same goals or we all look the same or we're all at the same phase in our transition. No, but I'm saying that there needs to be some unification or some community aspect where we have each other's backs, and obviously we treat each other appropriately and we correct the community if we have to, but like not separate once you get to a certain part in your transition from people who are not as fortunate or, are just different. They just walk a different path, and I think that for you, if you truly express yourself, you go on the route you want creatively through expression or, creative outlets, you will truly find people who like you for who you genuinely are, right? Because if you make friends or people around you who are expecting this cookie cutter behavior 24/7, then they truly will not like it once you start expressing yourself. So you need to be careful around your inner circle and stay away from toxic beauty standards. And I want to lean back into that. I once said that passing culture is toxic, and I stand behind that. A lot of people got mad when I said that. And what I mean by that, when I say passing culture, I mean this. Me doing my makeup this way is not according to passing culture, right? People would say that this is clocky, that you need to do it differently, right? What I'm saying is that passing culture can be toxic. Passing pressure can be toxic. It can push us into boxes that make us feel limited. It can make us have self-hatred or feel like I can't do this, but other people can. And that's what I meant by that. I didn't mean that if you want to pass, that's wrong of you. I never said that, right? I was saying that people should have the freedom of expression, and that is how passing pressure is toxic, okay? That we don't want to push our own self-hatred or toxicity onto other people. And if you experience that self-hatred or hatred for other people in our community, we need to work on that, right? And the very last piece of advice I want to give you is define your own beauty standard, okay? We talked a lot about trans beauty standards, society beauty standard. Create your own. Have your own way you want to get dressed or you want to present yourself. Love yourself. And that's why today I had a list of videos that I could have filmed and I saw beauty standards, and it just instantly clicked with me because I was doing such adventurous makeup today that I absolutely love. This is actually my favorite lipstick. And I know that a lot of people are going to say some things about it, like, oh, I don't like it, or no, no, no. But it's like, this is me. I love being adventurous, right? And I thought that it was the perfect situation to say, define your own beauty standards, right? You define your own path by transitioning or being LGBT, whatever you are, or an ally. People are telling you to do different. And why let it stop at the way that you express yourself? Because ultimately, I think expression is such a big part of the human experience, and people love to diminish it. They're like, oh, well, like, makeup and hair, and that's so frivolous. But that's not the truth. When you take that away from someone, you take away parts of their identity, not their complete identity, obviously, but like if you were to like shave someone's head and take away everything from them, a part of the human experience has always been expressing yourself through makeup, through hair, through jewelry, through clothes. That is a innate part of being human. That's what separates us from humans and, people who, or sorry, animals like that don't express themselves creatively. I mean, maybe, I don't know, maybe they have some jewelry, animal jewelry, I don't know. But you get what I'm saying. Like as humans, we do those things to express ourselves. I know the peacocks kind of like spread their feathers and stuff, but like, I don't know if they make like jewelry, like earrings and stuff, you know what I mean? But basically that's what makes us human, is that we like adorn ourselves with jewelry and hair and makeup, and we have opinions and we have emotions, which animals do too. But you get what I'm saying. Like, if you take all that away from someone, it strips our humanity away from us. And also the same applies to people who act like they don't care, right? Give them only yellow lipstick. Give them only neon colored clothes. They wouldn't like it. They want their neutrals. They want their neutrals. So even being conforming is a preference. Even saying you don't care is a preference, because a lot of these people who say they genuinely don't care, that is false. If you only gave them bright neon colors, they would be very upset, probably, a lot of them. So not having a preference a lot of the time in terms of aesthetics is a preference. You just have a limited set. You're not as picky, but you like more standard options, if that makes sense. So don't let toxic beauty standards define you. Trans beauty standards, society's beauty standards, you need to be aware of them, but figure out what's right for you and know that you're valid no matter what you do. And I hope that this video encouraged you to be yourself. Let me know in the comments if there's ever something you wanted to do, you want to try out. And if someone has ever given you negative backlash about it, I've always received it in life for so many things, nail, hair, makeup. Even to this day, I have trans people tell me, you need to do this differently to pass. And, oh, sis, this is not it. And then I reply like, oh, like, sorry, I don't want to do the cookie cutter Pinterest board. And they're like, no, that's not me. Babe, you're in self-denial. Like, let's see you pull off avant-garde makeup. They can't, because they would never. And now I want to give a huge shout out to everyone on my Patreon. The top tier members will be across the screen. On Patreon, I upload exclusive content. We have way too much fun and exclusive conversations. It's the best way to support my content creation, and the link will be in the description. If you're interested, it's what makes content like this possible. My social medias will be across the screen. Make sure you're subscribed and click that bell icon. Like the video, let me know what you thought down below in the comment section. And as always, remember that you are majestic. Bye, guys.